getting my valuation analyst certification. And that's the process by which we can put a value on a business or business unit. And fair market value is generally what we call it. And the definition of fair market value, just to bore you all to tears, it's the price that a willing buyer is willing to give to a willing seller for a particular object. Both neither being under any duress or any compulsory reasons to have to sell. That's the fair market value. So whatever you're willing to pay for it, whatever they're willing to give it up for, that's fair value, fair market value. I don't know how many of y'all have been to flea markets. Growing up, my papa took us to flea markets. I just grew up going to flea markets, and we call them the stockyard back in East Kentucky because that's where they sold the cattle and all that. And I think a mixture of the smell of the cattle and the pigs, and then you smell the pork rinds frying and all those things going on. And then bluegrass was always playing in East Kentucky. You hear all those things at the flea market. And you go up there and you bargain with folks. And I was just little. And I guess I remember the first time I ever tried to bargain with somebody. He had $1 on this little toy that I wanted, and I said, I'll give you a quarter for it. And I don't know if he just felt sorry for me because I was just this little kid, but he took it that quick. He said, yeah. And I was like, what? And so generally, and Sarah cocked her head, generally if somebody drops the price that quick, that generally means what? You probably overpaid. And so I tried to do what? I tried to renege. I said, well, no, I think I'll give you a dime. And he just starts laughing and said, I thought you said you'd give me a quarter for it, right? So value. Oh, what a willing buyer is willing to give a willing seller. Now, I want y'all to ask y'all the question tonight. What value do you place on your soul? What value? And that's the question Jesus asked in Matthew chapter 16. Beginning of verse 24, rather. Then Jesus told his disciples, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange or in return for his soul? Every single day we're making a bargain. Where we're saying, we're either saying, I'm willing to give this thing for my soul, or I'm willing to give this for my soul. What am I giving in exchange for my soul? Am I wanting, as we talked about in Bible class tonight, back in Matthew chapter 6, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world? If I spend all my life trying to accumulate these treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and thieves break through and steal, I'm to lay my treasure up in heaven. Well, every single day I'm making a bargain. I'm putting a value on my soul over those things that I am seeking after. And that's what Jesus is asking here. If anyone would come after him, let him deny himself. Let him take up his cross. Let him follow me. What I'm struck by as I read this verse is that Jesus knows that he is worth it. He is worth you denying everything else. He talks about the kingdom of heaven is like a man who finds the pearl of great price, and he goes and sells everything else he has in order to buy that one thing. He completely sells out everything he has so that he can have that one thing. And Jesus says, I am worth that. And he's asking us tonight in this chapter, in chapter 16, well, what are you giving in exchange for your soul tonight? Are you giving it all to serve him, or are you striving to build up for yourself treasures on this earth that are just going to be gone and fade away one day? In 2 Timothy chapter 6, 2 Timothy chapter 4, I'm sorry. The Apostle Paul writes, for I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure has come. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness. What did Paul do here? He gave up everything. You read about throughout the passages that we find in the Pauline epistles, you find that he was willing to give up everything. His heritage, his name, his education, whatever it was, so that he might know Jesus Christ. And he says, I've been poured out, I've given my all, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. And therefore, because of that, what's the bargain that I've laid out? What's the fair market that I've placed on my soul? Is that because I've done all these things, the Lord will give me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all those who love his appearing. So tonight I want us to think about what things are standing in your way of obeying God. What value are you placing on your soul? Maybe some things that you're just selling yourself. C.S. Lewis once said, we sell ourselves far too short so many times. So many things that just aren't even worth it that we're willing to give up our souls for. But tonight you're making a bargain with the Lord, or you're making a bargain with the devil for your soul. Here we see what Paul, at the end of his race, at the end of his fight, he realizes, he knows without any shadow of doubt that the Lord was worth it, that it was worth it, him selling everything out for that one thing, of following God, that he might have that crown of righteousness. Tonight, if you don't have that assurance, if you know that you're not, it's not a good bargain. You put far too little value on your soul, but you want it redeemed in heaven one day. Whatever your case is, won't you come? Always stand and sing.